All right. So in the next couple of minutes, I'm going to do a short video for all our amazing VOP listeners. Okay. So I will be fast. All right. So that you get the gist of what we are trying to do with this investment on the blockchain. So first of all, I'm going to have to come and give you some form of education. So let us talk about what exactly is going on here and how to identify this kind of projects by yourself in the future. Okay. So we are looking at what? Low risks. Okay. Blockchain investments. Okay. Low risks. Now, four things you want to look for. Okay. Four things. Number one on the list, you are looking for staking projects. Okay. Not buy and hold. Okay. Staking. Why are you looking for staking? Because here your 2 units can turn into 10,000 units. And if you can withdraw these 10,000 units at a good price, you can make a lot of money. Okay, as opposed to holding 2 units and praying and hoping that the price of this token will go up, so that when the price go up, you sell and make massive gain, which is what a lot of people know. Okay, which is buy and hold, wait for the price to go up. When the price goes up, you sell and make profit. In this model, I'm telling you, you are staking and you are earning interest on the units, and the units are growing every day. Okay, and then when it has matured, fully matured, and you're happy with the number of units you have, you withdraw for profit. Number two, make sure that the project you are doing this on is protocol-owned liquidity, which is the model of DeFi 2.0. Okay, make sure it is what? Protocol-owned liquidity project. And I'm going to tell you why. Because here the liquidity pool is what? Permanent. You cannot rock pull this kind of project. You cannot rock pull it. Okay. Number three, make sure the APY, or what you call the interest rates that is used to pay you for your staking, is around 1.7 to 2,000. Don't go for greedy APY. Okay, I mean, even if you see 7,000 is okay, 1.7 to 7,000 is okay, but don't go for greedy APY that is like 100,000% and the rest, because that is going to just bring a lot of greedy people that are just going to be looking for quick profit. And once they make small money, they'll start dumping, and when they start dumping like that, it begins to affect the price of the project quickly. Number four, make sure you are looking for a completely decentralized platform. Okay, meaning the project must be completely decentralized. Stay away from anything that does KYC, anything that requires email, password to log in. Okay, stay away from any of this, mostly when it says a blockchain project. If you see KYC in a blockchain project, please run. Now let me go and break this thing down. Okay, let's go to Google and go and begin to do some research. So on Google, I want to ask a question. First question I want to ask is, give me a tabular comparison between pump and dump projects and protocol-owned liquidity projects in terms of benefits. Pump and dump projects and protocol-owned liquidity project. Give me a tabular comparison. Now it's going to give me articles. Now look for AI mode. Okay, click on AI mode. Let it give you a summary. Okay, based on what it has just said there. And the good thing about this is every time you do this research, you get a different answer. Okay, so every time you do it, you get a different answer. So, and every time you get this different answer, you can keep learning, you can keep learning, you can keep learning. Okay, let me even change itself. Let me say, give me a tabular comparison. Okay, no, let's look at this one for the sake of time. Okay, so who are the primary beneficiaries of pump and dump project? Is say early creators and insiders. Why do I say make sure you are looking for protocol on liquidity project? Who are the primary beneficiaries of protocol on liquidity projects? Long-term token holders and the protocol. Those are the primary beneficiaries. Long-term who? Token holders. Those are the primary beneficiaries. Who are the primary beneficiaries here? Early creators and insiders. Insiders. Forget that noise they're making on social media. You know, many of them are insiders in those projects that they are promoting. They know the owners of those projects. They have meeting with the owners of those projects. They collect money from the owners of those projects. They have bought those projects before they come to announce the project. And when the price goes up, they sell on everybody. That's why you will never hear them telling you when to sell. They only tell you when to buy. Next up, liquidity stability. Okay, the liquidity is what? Highly volatile in this kind of in pump and dump projects, and it can be pulled suddenly. You know why? Because it's rented liquidity. It can be pulled suddenly. Now, can the liquidity of protocol-owned liquidity pool projects be pulled? Permanent. The liquidity is permanent and is locked in the smart contract. Is locked in the smart contract. That's what you should know. It's permanent and it's locked in the smart contract. I hope you know this is Google. Me and you, we are doing the research together. Number 3, what's the price impact? Artificial spikes followed by what? Crashes. That's basically what happens in pump and dump. It goes up, artificial spike, and then they remove their liquidity, they remove their profits, and then it does what? Crashes permanently. Now, what happens to the price impact here? Dampened volatility. So there's volatility, but it's what? Dampened volatility. How? Via deep trading floor. So there's what you call a deep trading floor that allows you to keep trading because the money in the liquidity pool in protocol-owned liquidity projects are very big deal. For example, here you have liquidity that is maybe $5,500. Here you have liquidity that is maybe $4 million, $5 million, $2 million, $1 million, a lot of liquidity. Okay. Now, revenue generation. Revenue generation. Here is zero sustainable revenue. Why? Because the capital shifts. Capital, the people that put money in the liquidity pool can take their money elsewhere. Here, because they own the capital, they are making money from continuous trading fees. They are earning all the trading fees. The protocol earns all the trading fees. Okay, so the protocol makes money from its money in the liquidity pool instead of paying those rewards to external liquidity providers that will borrow them money or rent them money. They are the ones keeping all the profit. The protocol keeps all the profits. Investor incentive is what? Short-term speculative gains and what? High risk. Okay, here, what's the investor incentive? Yield opportunities, so you can earn yield by staking. Okay, and what? Aligned growth. Now, what's the systemic risk here? Extreme risk of total capital loss. That's what happens in pump and dump projects. Total capital loss. Here, smart contract box or systemic asset DPEX. Those are the risks. Okay, good. Now, let me go, because I've done this research several times. Let's look at this one. The same thing. Okay. Because anytime you do the research, it gives you a different answer based on, is giving you as answer based on different documents that it finds on the internet. This is Google. Okay. This is Google. Okay. Google AI mode is where we are. Look at it. Give me a tabular comparison. That's it. Let's look at this one also. Pump and dump project. Who benefits? Early creators and insiders. Who benefits in this one? Protocol liquidity. Long-term token holders and the protocol. Liquidity stability. Zero stability. Liquidity disappears instantly. Okay. What of the liquidity here is permanent liquidity owned by the treasury. So a protocol-owned liquidity project has something called treasury, and that is where all the money in the protocol, in the liquidity pool, is held. Now, value growth, artificial spikes driven by hype. Value growth, organic growth backed by asset reserves that are in this treasury. Okay. Yield generation is none. Profits rely on selling early. Okay. Continuous fees accumulate to the treasury. Protocol-owned liquidity. Market resilience. Total collapse during sell-off. So the protocol dies. This kind of projects, DeFi 1.0, pump and dump projects, they collapse permanently during sell-offs. Here, there's a price floor protected by the protocol assets. So a price floor basically says the way protocol-owned liquidity projects are created is created in such a way that the price doesn't go below a certain threshold. And threshold is not a fixed number. threshold is a range. It doesn't go below a range. Okay, so why it doesn't fall below a range? Because they are what you call stable assets, okay, in the treasury. Those stable assets, what you call blue chip assets, blue chip crypto assets, DAI, USDC, USDT, Ethereum, stable assets are in the treasury. It is those assets, okay, that help to back the price of what? The protocol's token, so that the token price does not fall below a certain threshold. Meaning long term, the price is still good for you to withdraw in profit, which is the reason why I say it's a long-term holders that benefits. Now, let me go to the blockchain again and show you this project called, okay, first of all, let's come here. This is where we were, so we just so that all of us are on the same page. We've looked at protocol-owned liquidity. Okay, you make money on this kind of projects by what? Staking. So let's go to the blockchain. Let's research Olympus DAO. Okay, good. What did Olympus DAO pioneer on the blockchain? So let me just refresh the page. Like I said, every time you do this, you refresh it, it gives you a different answer. So let's refresh it. What did Olympus DAO pioneer? So if you come to all, for example, you come here, you see the main research. Okay, you see a lot of research on Olympus DAO. Founder is a 22-year-old, blah blah blah. How does Olympus DAO work? Olympus DAO created a breakthrough, blah blah blah. So there's a lot of research on Olympus DAO. They did project in 2022. So if you come here, it will do a research for you. So what did Olympus DAO pioneer? Okay, so Olympus DAO pioneered protocol-owned liquidity, an innovative model that shifted decentralized finance away from mercenary capital and ignited the DeFi 2.0 movement. Okay, it ignited the DeFi 2.0 movement. Instead of renting liquidity from users through temporary high emission yield farming rewards, Olympus DAO created mechanisms for the protocol to purchase and permanently own its liquidity. So in their model, okay, there were certain things. There was protocol-owned liquidity. They flipped the traditional DeFi 1.0 model by owning their own liquidity pairs on decentralized exchanges. The protocol ensured deep permanent liquidity that could not be abruptly pulled by profit-seeking yield farmers. It allowed the DAO's treasury to directly capture trading fees. They created a bonding mechanism. They created a game theory. They created decentralized crypto reserve currency in something called treasury. Okay, so they had things that they created. Okay, now, so this is their innovation stack. You see how their innovation stack handle capital efficiency. Liquidity sourcing in traditional DeFi projects is what? Rented. And these are the projects that come with very high risk. Because when these people that rented the liquidity to the project take out their money, the entire project has a problem. Now, so Olympus DAO said, no more rented liquidity. We are going to own our liquidity. Okay? So that it cannot be rock pulled. Number two, capital behavior. Here, the capital is mercenary, meaning it can leave the protocol anytime when the rewards that they are getting from their money drops. It's like I normally say, it's like someone that is doing Brody change and he rents $10 million from a politician to pay the politician 10% every year on that money. And then election time has come. You get, the politician wants his money back. If that is all the money he has that he's using to do transactions, once they collect the money from him, there's no money to do transactions anymore. And that's the problem. That's what you call mercenary capital. When it leaves, the business dies. And that's the problem with traditional DeFi projects. And nobody tells you this. They just tell you to invest. So you need to know to check, mostly if you are looking for safe investments, okay? Check, is the liquidity pool permanent or is the liquidity pool rented? So here, the capital behavior is what? Mercenary. Here, the capital behavior is sticky. The treasury retains the assets what? Permanently. You can't rock pull it. Finally, revenue generation. The fees go to who? External liquidity providers. But in DeFi 2.0, the fees stay within the what? Treasury. Okay. So that's how the treasury can keep making money for itself. Okay. Now, another question I want you to quickly see is, let's just ask here, how much, okay, what APY did Olympus DAO offer at launch? In other words, when they started, what APY were they giving? Okay, so it will show you. See, at launch, Olympus DAO founded by a pseudonymous developer, often referred to as Zeus, though sometimes associated with prominent community figures or developers like Dan, famously offered an eye-watering annual percentage yield of over what? 100,000%. That's what he was giving away. Olympus DAO started by giving away 100,000% on staked OHM tokens. So, how did you make money on Olympus DAO? The people that founded Protocol-Owned Liquidity, you made money by what? Staking. But even with that, Olympus DAO has done 5 years. And let me show you Olympus DAO on the blockchain. Okay, so you come to Olympus DAO. So see what happened to their price because of the high APY that they were offering. Okay, you see people bought, the thing went high, came down when they were selling. They pumped it again, the thing came down when they were selling. Why is all of this happening? Because of the ridiculously high APY. People, it attracts a lot of greedy people. But even with that, in 2022, January, the price had hit what we now call the price floor. Okay, so you can see that from 2022 till now, the price has been ranging. This is what I call threshold. Okay, this is the threshold. If you check, you see the price is 20, 21, 15, 10, 13, 12, 20, 15, 13. It's just, that's what I call ranging. It has been ranging like that for 4 years. So imagine someone that has 19,000 units. 4 years later, he can still come and remove the money at what? $17. And that is massive cash out. And that is all because, and thanks to the money that is in their treasury or their liquidity pool that facilitate transaction and does not disappear. So because there's constantly money in the treasury, there's constantly money, okay, in the assets, there are constantly stable assets in the treasury. The price has a floor. It has a floor. You see the floor? See the floor? That's the floor. Okay. So it has stayed at that floor till today. How do we know that Olympus DAO is still doing transactions? You come to the blockchain, come to Explorers, okay? Explorers, come to Etherscan, okay? That's how you find the Explorer. Look for holders. Now, when you come here to holders, scroll down, even though Ethereum here claims, okay, because of this is an automated rating system, that automatically says, it just looks at all the wallets and looks at the biggest wallets and say that wallet owner is a whale. In this protocol on liquidity projects, this biggest wallet is in a contract. You see, it's in a contract. This is smart account, contract. So this, where you have 70% of the assets, okay, 18%, 5%, 2% of the assets, all of that is what? Contract, smart account, contract. So the money is locked in a smart contract. How do you know transactions are still taking place? Okay, come here, go to transfers. 1 minute ago, are you seeing? 10 minutes ago, people are still transferring. Activity is still happening. Okay, swapping. People are swapping. Swapping means you're converting from either OHM to USD to Ethereum, or you're converting from Ethereum to OHM. So there's activity, as you can see, 1 minute ago. The other place you can check to see what's going on is to come to setting. Okay, so let me come to setting. Come here, look for Olympus DAO. Okay, let me just open this one, Olympus V1. So here, if you scroll down here, you see that in the last 7 days, okay, in the last 7 days, there has been what? $10,000 worth of transactions on Olympus system. How old is Olympus DAO? Look at it, 5 years and 3 months. Transactions are still taking place. Okay, you can even still go to their website. It's active, it's still running. Okay, so this is 5 years later, although the APY is no longer that high. They had to keep reducing the APY. So they say their APY has to be dynamic. They argue that the APY must be dynamic. And this is a place where you can always come and fact check a token's code. And we're going to look at this in a completely different video. The points I just wanted to make in this video is that, number one, you are looking for staking. Number two, make sure you are on protocol-owned liquidity project, meaning there's a security for your investment, there's a price backing, there's a price floor. Number three, make sure you are looking for fair APY, not ridiculously high APY. Number five, make sure you are in a completely decentralized system. What do I mean by completely decentralized system? So there's a rise of certain kinds of projects now that on one hand, they say they are DeFi projects, but the interaction with customers is a centralized finance back office where you have to put in email, password, and then login. Okay? Be wary of this. The problem with this model is that they are going to ask you to give what you call your wallet address. Okay? They ask you to give your wallet address. Then here, they say it's a blockchain project. And I can tell you many times these projects are just DeFi 1.0 projects. In fact, not many times, 100% of the time, these are DeFi 1.0 projects. They will not tell you that they will remove money from you for you. That's when you say withdraw. Okay, when you initiate withdrawal, they claim that they will now take money from the blockchain and pay into your wallet. The problem with this is you're depending on humans. And if any day they say they are not going to pay again, the platform crashes or whatever they do, everybody begins to cry. And I've seen a lot of people like that. They say they invested in a project they can no longer withdraw. This is always the problem, centralized. On a real blockchain project, what you will see is connect wallets. Connect wallets. There's nothing like login. You see connect wallets. Your money goes from the blockchain into your wallets directly. When you invest into the blockchain directly. When you withdraw to your wallet directly. And in this model, you are dealing directly with the blockchain. There's no middleman. You are trusting the smart contract completely. The smart contract. You are not dealing with any human being. That way, you don't come back and begin to hear stories that, you could not withdraw. Nothing like that, because it's permissionless. Permissionless means there's no human being that has to say, oh, give me your ID card, provide this, provide that. There's nothing like that on a permissionless system. Okay? Now, last but not the least, let's come to the internet and look at this calculator. So, how can you take 10,000 naira on 10,000 naira today and turn that 10,000 naira into millions? Okay. So I created this calculator, this software, to help you postulate. So let's say you put 10,000 naira today, price of dollar 1,400. The price of the project I'm going to suggest to you is around $53 or $52. The APY of the project currently is around 1,200%. Okay. And let's assume that in the next 60 months, it crashes to 100%. Okay. 60 months. How much did you put? 10,000. You bought 2 units. Okay. You just bought 10,000 naira worth of the token. Okay. And you left it for 60 months. In 60 months, let's say the price crashes to $1 or $5, or let's say the price did not crash and we are able to maintain the price of the token, because this particular project, they are building softwares, and the monies that they're generating from the software is all put back into the protocol's treasury to back the price of the token. Remember, in protocol-owned liquidity projects, the money in the treasury, the stable assets in the treasury are used to back the token's price. All right, so let's do this. How much could you make if the price goes to $1? This is how much you could make in 60 months from your 10,000 naira. How much could you make if the price goes to $5? You can make 9 million naira. How much could you make if the price stays at $50? It's a whopping 90 million naira. From what? 10,000 naira. Now, let's say you are a little bit more ambitious and you decide to say, okay, I'm going to do 100,000. Okay. Or you say, I'll do 50,000. Me, I say do 150,000 for every child. But don't take my word. Do what you want to do, okay? So if you do 50K, your $1 can be 9 million if you come out at $1. If you come out at $5, it can be 45 million. And if you come out at $50, you see the figure by yourself. That's 60 months. Now, let us assume you take my advice and do 150,000 or 152,000 for each of your children or for yourself to protect your future. 152,000, you are still going to spend it in Nigeria. Keep it in the bank, is going to lose value. It's not going to add any value to you. It's not going to profit you really in any way. Okay? It's not, that's like the cost of the average flight ticket today. Okay? So at $1 is a 27 million value. At $5 is 136 million value. And at $50, this is the value. These are postulations. A friend of mine, someone I know, put $20,000 in a protocol-owned liquidity project like this. Not even as good as this, because this project I have has better things that other project does not have. He put $20,000, around $19,000 actually. He left it for 2 years. He put it in March 2024, left it till March 2026, sold it this year. And as at the time he sold it, the value, okay, was $660,000. So imagine what you could do if you started small. Okay, it's just a matter of how much risks you want to take. What I tell people is do short-term and long-term accounts. Okay, do an account for short-term. If you have access to capital, you can do it 3 months, do 6 months, or you do 1 year for the short-term account. Then have a long-term account or a medium-term account that is 1 to 2 years. Then have a long-term account that is 3 to 5 years. Okay? The best deal is 5 years if you have very small capital. Okay, for 10,000 naira, you should be going for 5 years. Okay, so that's the plan. You can get started today following the other videos I'm going to make available to you on how to get started. Okay, thank you.